Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your man, Dame DNYDC, host of the Two Mics Up podcast. And man, today's a great day. I don't know. Look, I can't really contain the excitement that I have today because today I'm joined by three amazing artists and individuals who have been here on the show before. And today we're really going to be talking about, really what's coming up in the next week. And we talking about the holidays. We talking about Thanksgiving. We talking about giving thanks. And I'm just blessed one to be here today sharing this conversation with all of you. And really without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start bringing in, today's guests who are joining me today. Like I said, these are some amazing folks. We even have, a friend up to the north in Canada. We have two talented individuals joining us today from California. And man, look, I'm excited. And all I can do, and I'm going to start out, like I said, today's conversation is things we're thankful for. And, I want to start by saying, let me start with Karen, down here. Uh, Karen, it's good to see you again. Thank you for taking time out. But if you could, and if you don't mind, Karen, I want to ask you, what are you thankful for this holiday season? And I think you got your mic on. You have to unmute your mic, Karen.
More technology. Forgiving. Sorry about that.
No
Um,
problem.
no, I'm thankful for just life. I'm thankful for the Lord being so good and faithful in the midst of, I always say, I don't think that many people had global pandemic on their, vision board for
Facts.
2020. Um, but we all pivoted, and most of us did pretty well and survived. And for those who didn't, I my heart goes out to it. But I think we just all kind of learned a lot about what life and just the whole big picture of how things can be outside of our control, and
Hmm.
the things that are really important. So I'm grateful for that awareness of realizing what is really important, realizing how strong we can be and how strong we can't be, and where we need
Yeah.
to lean on our faith and other people and our families and other things. So
Mhm.
I'm just glad to still be here and to have opportunities to connect with people like you and the other fabulous guests. And I'm really grateful for my family, even though sometimes they drive me crazy. So
Yeah. Hey, we gotta love the family. And hey, look, it through my excitement. First of all, I really jumped out here totally wrong because I was just so excited that to see you all again. Karen, please just give a little background here, just in case those who may have forgotten, who don't know you. Like I said, my excitement for today's conversation, I just glossed over the introduction part. So please, I
oh,
apologize, but please just
oh,
reintroduce yourself.
we forgive you. We understand the excitement. We got three people from all over the country. No, I'm what am I? I'm mostly an actress and a comedian, a writer, um, a wife, a mother, a daughter. I've been doing show business, television mostly, a lot of theater for several years. I enjoy performing. I play a character who's kind of like everybody's favorite church mother called Etta Mae Humphreys, which hopefully we'll get to see a little later on. So an entertainer is what I do out here in California, and just enjoying everyday life. So
Man, that's what I'm talking about out there, ladies and gentlemen. So, Lawrence, I don't mean to skip you, brother, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do ladies first on this opening round. And I'm going to come back to you, my brother, but I want to get the ladies in. We want to be gentlemen here. Lynette, could you please take a moment and reintroduce yourself first to everyone, and then I will follow up with the same question.
All right. So, yes, hi, I'm Lynette Doherty. I'm in Canada and I am an actor, dancer, singer, performer. I run a studio called The Space. So, that's my studio. I teach dance and vocals and acting and musical theater, so performance arts classes for kids and teens and adults. For me, what I'm thankful for, I think most, it sounds kind of like the cliche answer, but really and truly in a pandemic, your health and your family,
Mm.
right? That's, um, I know it sounds like a pat answer, but it really makes you think when you are living through something like this. And it really makes you look around and say, yeah, we take it for granted, but just that you get up another day and see the sunrise and see the people that you love and have another day of this life is there are so many people who have not made it through this pandemic, right? There are so many businesses who have failed and gone under because it's just so hard to hang on as it just drags on and government programs start to dwindle and people just want to move on with it. But it's the little things I think that we're thankful for. Although I do have to say, for me, it's not Thanksgiving right now. We had Thanksgiving last month.
and we're going to come back to that too, because I think it's very interesting. I do want to talk on, Canadian Thanksgiving and things of that nature, but I'm going to come back to that shortly. And I want to bring forth and let my brother Lawrence Adisa, I want him to reintroduce himself to you all. And Lawrence, please also, same question for you. What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Oh man, good to be back here, my brother. Definitely, man. I'm kind of echoing my fellow guest here. Health and family. I mean, COVID. What can you say? I mean, it just makes you speechless. The simplest things will just have you paranoid. Getting a cold has you freaking out. Or your kids getting sick, or your grandparents, your parents, whatever. Just getting through that. I didn't lose any close family members, thank God. I did lose some like friends from back in the day. I'm sure everybody has somebody that they can unfortunately bring to the table that they lost. But overall, man, I'm thankful that I'm here and my loved ones and people I care about are around to get through this thing another year.
Yeah. And you really touched on that, and that's one of the things, also in this conversation, there are things that you're thankful for. And then I think at times, when you hear the term or phrase to give thanks, I'm also interested in asking, what does that mean to you? Because I when I think of the holidays and like my upbringing, the term of giving thanks is really the time that we spend out in the community, whether helping at the church, whether it be for a coat drive, helping the homeless, help feed the homeless and things of that nature. So that's what, when I hear the term or the phrase, to give thanks, that's really what resonates with me. So I would be interested, and Lawrence, I'll start with you first on this question. What does the term or phrase "give thanks" mean to you?
Yeah, I agree with you, especially in Los Angeles, where you guys probably see in the news the homelessness out here is just it's ridiculous. I mean, we're in Los Angeles, California, and you drive up the main streets out here, and it's like we're in Armageddon. Like, it's the last day. It's like homeless, like shelters and tents up and down major streets. So what I do, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, especially Thanksgiving, because there's a lot of food left over and stuff, the next morning, I'll go to different areas in Hollywood and just drop off the food. There's so much leftover food, and it's the least I can do. I know that I can just help out somebody out there, that will definitely appreciate it.
Right.
It's the least I can do.
It's like, man, that resonates here too. I work here in the nation's capital, and like you say, Hollywood being Hollywood, and you would think of the residual cash flow, let's say, that may be in people's pockets who are fortunate enough. Same goes here in DC, in the nation's capital. I work literally I work 2 blocks from the Capitol, and to get to my building is like tent city. So many residents are forced to now live on the streets, and it's mind blowing because, like I said, I'm in the nation's capital, and how can we even have this in today's day and age? It's mind blowing. It really is. So I'm going to transition to our sister up north. When you hear terms and things of that, because I don't know, and I'd be interested to know. Do you have pockets or semblance of this in Canada? Because you're in Toronto, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, what is first of all, what does the term or phrase mean to you? But what is that? What is the experience like going on now there in Toronto?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing to me, let's give thanks is we're about to eat, right? Like somebody is about to say that prayer and we're all going to eat. And you're right. I mean, we have a lot of people who are homeless here in Toronto as well. And it's, I think these holidays where we gather around the table and it's extended family all comes and there's so much food and there's just so much. But we know that we're living in these countries that are well off, right? There's no reason in 2021 for people to be starving in Canada or in the United States. We have the money. We have the money to take care of people, but we don't have the political will to do it.
That's that right there. That speaks volumes right there on both sides, both countries. I don't know what the breakdown is with the bandwidth with our politicians, and I can only speak for here in America. I find lately we find more about going to the moon and things that, and again, I'm not going to call it frivolous, but from my perspective, it's frivolous when we're sitting here talking about the holidays, and you have people living on the streets, not knowing where they're going to get their next meal from, and it doesn't seem like we have enough services being provided to help move these people to a better place. And it's frustrating. It's mind blowing. And Karen, I want to ask you the same question. For you, when you hear that term or phrase, give thanks, what does that mean to you?
Well, first, I agree with Lynette and Lawrence. It is like you drive some streets out here, and I keep saying it looks like Mad Max. These people in areas where I haven't been in a year or two, where there used to never be like tent cities and people on the side of the road. Now they're everywhere. But when I say give thanks, I think it's kind of like the old folks used to say hallelujah anyhow. In that you got to find the things that you are thankful for. You got to find the good. Even though the Bible says, the poor will always be with us. I think we can't be callous about that. And it is frustrating because you're like, why can't we do something? As much money as there is in our world, in our country. So, you don't want to wallow in it and get depressed about it. So you have to be thankful for what is good and thankful for the hope, the hope of salvation, if you want to be big about it. And then just the hope that maybe one person on the street will get a good meal for the day, or something like that. So when I'm thankful, even being in entertainment like we are, so easy. There's so much rejection. There's so many, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and all that stuff. So you kind of got to say, well, at least I, had a good audition, or at least I had an opportunity, or at least I got this going on. So
right.
That's how I give thanks, for the things that are here. And
that's deep and that's serious. And I appreciate you all sharing that, because with giving thanks, for me and all of the things that we've all just discussed, it also sometimes being a little bit older now, it brings, for me, I know it brings on more, I don't want to say favor, but you have more reflection in Thanksgiving memory. And like for me, I have some favorite memories of waking up in the morning, and we used to be blessed to have real trees, and you smell the pine or the fir first thing in the morning after the tree has been up. Or my favorite memory is the smell of my mom making ham and the sweet potato and the yams going on in the oven. That was like the most exciting memory that I still recall as an adult. So I want to ask then, if I can start with you, Karen. What are some of your favorite Thanksgiving memories?
Gosh, a lot of that. I just went and bought some of those pine cones from the grocery store, to get that holiday smell in the house. that makes me so happy. It's ridiculous. But I think just like with the family, most of our family is in like South, and so usually it's just our family that's here. But doing stuff like getting the bread and the stuffing mixed together with my mom, and mixing up the celery and the onions, that smell. and getting the turkey ready, setting the table, putting the leaf in the table so it can be bigger, putting the good dishes out and stuff like that. And then just in the morning, because here in California, it's starting to get a little cool. So going out early in the morning, going for a walk, walking the dog before you stuff your face. And then my dad is no longer with us, but starting at whatever 10 o'clock in the morning with football games on, that sound is always reminiscent. So and then shopping.
How can we forget that, right?
Black Friday, but they start at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which I don't know if they're going to do the pandemic, but I remember one time I got my daughter. I was like, we're going to do this, and we went to the mall at like 3 o'clock in the morning just because. But all that stuff, and the Thanksgiving Day parade is also really
tradition.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It all just and especially now, yeah.
Well, and I have to even say, because that's probably a huge tradition for both. And Lawrence, I don't know how long you've been in California, but that's like both in you guys' backyard. Like, are you both near? What is that? The Rose Parade and all that takes place.
Yeah, you know what? I could for New Year's. That's New Year's Day.
Oh, it's New Year's. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But you're out there. You're closer to the Thanksgiving because
I mean, New York. I mean, when I used to live there, we used to go to the Thanksgiving parade and all of that. And down here in DC, not so much. But I know that's a tradition. And you're right. I'm sorry. I was jumping out to because that's something I do want to experience for New Year's in California. The Rose. Yeah, you're like literally around the corner.
Yeah, we could walk there literally. And I was so excited the other day because I don't know where you are, Lawrence, in LA, but they already put out the stands on Colorado Boulevard for the people to sit. So I was like, okay, it's happening because it didn't happen last year. So
cool. Wow. I'm in West Hollywood, like where the Grove is at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah. Grove. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my old neighborhood. That's fun. The Grove is beautiful right now because they just started putting up the Christmas.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, same question, Lawrence. I'm going to transit to because I know Karen. I know you may have to step away. You have some family and some things I know that you're attending to. So I want to thank you, Karen, for joining us, and we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you, Karen. All right. And so, yes, for you, Lawrence, I want to ask you the same question. What are some of your favorite Thanksgiving memories?
Wow. Definitely as a child, like a lot of guys, I stayed far from the kitchen. I don't know what my mom did in there. And I wasn't interested until the final results. So,
right.
I just remember eating. That's all I remember is eating. And it's always the same, choice of just food that we don't get on a daily basis or a weekly basis.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, 2 years ago,
mm-hmm.
Since I had my son, bringing him to the East Coast on Thanksgiving was very special because, he got a chance to meet his grandmother and his uncles and his family on the East Coast. So that kind of stuck out to me as a parent, honestly, mm-hmm. more than me as a child growing up, right. Just seeing that full circle. And now as an adult, even though I'm not in the kitchen, I'm still not in the kitchen. At least I will walk through there, and
right.
A drink or something, just to see what's going on. But yeah, 2 years ago, me and my wife, we went to Maryland and hung out with the family, and it was awesome. That was a
dope,
great memory.
Yeah, that's great right there. When you can create those type of memories that not only for you, but hopefully for your son, and now you've got that bond and that mm-hmm. connection now that that can continue on and maybe create some new traditions. I think that's another thing for the holidays and Thanksgiving for me specifically is you have bonds and traditions that are formed and created. And I think that's really important because I know your son, he's still a young man, but it's great to be able to connect those bridges. And Lynette, I want to ask you, up in the Great North, what are some of what have been some of your, fondest memories? And I have to ask you because I never really asked for fond. Are you originally born and raised in Canada, or is your family from? Because I know you're Trinidadian.
Yeah, so I was born here. My parents were from Trinidad. So my parents both moved to Canada before I was born. So me and my brothers were born here. But it's so interesting to me to hear you all talk about, oh, our Thanksgiving memories and putting the tree up and things. And I think putting the tree up in early October. So yeah, my Thanksgiving memories do not involve the Christmas tree. It's too soon for that. Yeah, Thanksgiving here was like on the 11th or something like that this year. So we have, it goes Thanksgiving, my birthday, Halloween, and then
wow.
And then, yeah, so those like Christmas memories and Thanksgiving memories are very different for us, right? So I think in the US, it all sort of ties together and it all starts to feel like one big season, but it's Christmas is still farther away. Kids are still deciding on their Halloween costumes.
That's just so odd. So, you know, and if you don't mind, then can I ask, first of all, can you give us some history about Canada's Thanksgiving? And I do want to touch on, because, you know, being Trinity Massive, and everybody else shouts out, you know, what's that like, you know, being in Canada, you know, with your Caribbean background and Trinidadian culture? How did that blend?
Some of it's, I mean, for us, I think Thanksgiving is different for us in Canada than it is for you in the US. Like we see all the shows that have, you know, there's always a big Thanksgiving special and there's a whole thing that goes on, parades and all that. We don't do that here for Thanksgiving. It's a different day too. Like, you know, I mean, it's not only that it's in October, but Thanksgiving for us is the holiday is the Monday, right? So a lot of families just sort of choose, are we going to do something on the Saturday or on the Sunday or on the Monday? It's not like everybody does this one day. No one's getting up, going shopping. Also another thing. Here, we get all of the US shows and news and things like that. So we know what's happening. And a lot of stores here now also do Black Friday sales. I don't really understand that. I always just sort of say I'm Black every Friday. It's just, I don't know. But we like that has become, it wasn't when I was a kid. Like we didn't get like Black Friday sales. We would just hear about whatever was going on in the US. And it always just seemed so odd because and honestly, a lot of times you just hear someone got shot in a Walmart. What is happening?
Right. Well, yeah. And look here, where one of the places I live, they call it Hood Bridge. And you go to the Walmart. You go to Walmart after 12 o'clock. Sometimes there was a time where you was taking a risk or a chance on your life just to go to Walmart. And it is crazy. And, you know, Karen so eloquently said it too. You know, I don't know how this is going to work with the pandemic. And Lawrence know, you know, sometimes they start Black Friday. People are camping out overnight.
Yeah.
You know, to get their space in line to go, you know, for a TV that, you know, if you wait until after, you can still get that same TV. You know, while we doing this, man. You know, so I don't know. And have you Lawrence by chance seen any or heard of any of that? You know, like people out in the LA community like ramping up and gearing up, like Black Friday, like because it's become a thing. It's like a serious thing now.
Yeah, it's definitely media has definitely made it a huge thing. It's on the news channels. Black Friday, obviously online everywhere. I'm like you, I don't pay any mind because the same deal will be there on Cyber Tuesday.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's the same thing. It's just they're getting more money out of you. Right. So no, I'm not interested in waiting on those long lines to buy a TV at Walmart and get trampled. But it's there. It's here.
So true. And you know, I'm sorry, Lynn. I mean to transition back too, because for Thanksgiving Day, because I know, and like you say, you guys are like September, October for Thanksgiving.
October, yeah.
October. But what is your meal normally consist of? Because, like I said, I know here in America, we have these traditional concepts of a Thanksgiving meal. You know, whether it be turkey or ham. You know. Yam, sweet potatoes, this type of thing, that and the third. I'm just curious for you and with your culture, because same for me. You know, we're Caribbean. You know, I'm Puerto Rican. My wife's from Costa Rica. I like, you know, my rice and peas. I like, you know what I'm saying, my stewed chicken and all of that. So what does that look like for you, you know, in Canada?
I think for Thanksgiving, I think we get that from you, right? Because turkey, sweet potato, everybody wants stuffing, something to go, like pumpkin pie, all of that. Like I think we just get that from you, right? So that seems to be like what Thanksgiving meal is. But people eat that same meal at Christmas time, right? That it's like turkey and cranberry sauce and stuff like that. But for me, that was not, I mean, my parents are from Trinidad. We have pastels at Christmas time. But I know growing up here, I was the only Black kid in my class. There were no kids eating pastels. So when you'd hear, Thanksgiving or Christmas time and everybody's talking about turkey, and I'd be like, yeah, that's what we're having too. We were going to have pastels, but if I said that in school, kids would be like, pastels? You eat chalk? What is this? Right? Like they don't know what that is. But yeah, we have pastels at Christmas time. My mom used to do, like, she'd still do turkey just to do a Canadian sort of thing for it. Nobody ever knew what to do with this cranberry sauce. There'd be this cranberry sauce. It was more about, let's have pastels and pepper sauce, but I don't know what to do with this cranberry sauce. Right?
Hey, look, I'm sorry. I'm old school. You got to get, I don't want real cranberries. I'm sorry. Give me the canned cranberry that you hear that comes out the can. Give me that cranberry. And we had this big debate last week, or we had a show and we were debating about that. I'm sorry, just give me the processed one. I don't have time for the berries with the nuts and the seasoning. Again, forget all of that. But moving forward, and we're about to be joined. We have a lovely guest who's coming to the screen and joining us, and Miss Etta Mae. How you doing today?
Hey, I had to get myself together, and I say coming to you live from the green room, but green's not really my color. I can see, but anyway,
that's fine. You look wonderful.
Oh, bless you, and hey, Lynette and Lawrence, all my peoples is on the program, and I'm thankful every day just to be on this side of the ground. I tell you.
Okay. You can say that twice or 3-4 more times, because it is a blessing. And Miss Etta Mae, I want to ask you, we were kind of moving through the conversation, and I want to start then, what are you thankful for this year? And second part is, what are you hopeful for in 2022?
Oh my goodness. Well, I heard y'all talking about some delicious imbibements and food and stuff. So I'm just grateful that I can still get myself together and put together a decent meal for whoever might care to join me. So I tell folks I'm like Ayanla Van Zandt, but I can't fix your life, but I can fix you a plate. But, yeah, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for the love of the Lord. I'm thankful for another chance every day, forgiveness, as old, no fool like an old fool. So I try not to be an old fool, but everybody, no matter how many, what I heard Bruce Lee or somebody that said, fall down 9 times, get up 10, or some number that means like as many times as you can fail at something, you can still have a brand new day, and it only takes sometimes things can change overnight suddenly if you had a string of bad luck, and then things can pick up and look much better if you don't give up and if you keep the faith. So I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for just having folks that love me and folks that I can love on. And what was the last thing you said? What am I hopeful for?
Yes, ma'am. What are you hopeful for in 2022?
I hope my memory gets better so I can remember more than one question at a time. I'm just hope. You know what I'm really hopeful for? Because in this pandemic, these last several months, I hope that a lot of us learned. I call it just get right down to the real nitty gritty. And I think we've been getting down to the nitty gritty. Like, you don't have time for foolishness. You don't have time for foolish folks. You don't have time to fool around. And so I hope we can all remember when we was kind of like on our knees and things were looking real ugly and scary, the stuff that you had to say, forget that, get rid of that silliness, that holding on to grudges and all those things that don't matter. And also, like, I put out a message. If you look on my YouTube channel, I said, I can't remember the scripture, but it was the one that said, let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. And all the things, like, we get that, what the young folks call it, FOMO, fear of missing out, and thinking you ought to be doing this and that and running here and there. And you just say, you know what? If it's not for me, it's not for me. And I wrote in my journal the other day, either claim it or cancel it or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, I said it's either, change it, claim it or change it. So if you say, I'm going to stop eating meat, you feel like you need to be a vegan or something like that. Either do it or just Enjoy your hamburger. One way or
Okay.
another. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I'm hopeful, to stick with all those little lessons that hopefully we learned in the midst of all this tragedy and sadness, that we can come out on top.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, look, y'all heard it right here. Claim it or change it. I
That's
gotta,
right.
I gotta put that one in my book. I
You
love
said it
that.
better than I did.
Claim it or change it. All right, so I'm going to Lawrence. Same thing for you, my brother. What is maybe one or two things that you can share that you're hopeful for as we move into 2022?
I mean, definitely. I'm, I'm, I pray a lot when it comes to just where we're at in America, man. It's like,
Wow.
it's, you know, we have this midterm election coming up.
Right.
Just praying that we don't sleep, because a lot of times we sleep during these midterms. And John Lewis and all of the great leaders from the civil rights era, man, that died, also had these voting rights.
Yeah.
They're in danger.
Yeah.
And if we don't get this thing figured out, I mean, we're going to hell in the handbasket. It's just that, I think about that, unfortunately, because you see the things happening like every week. Laws are being changed across this country. So I'm just hopeful that the powers that be and the community just don't sleep, because in America, man, it's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
And we're getting blinded by all of this, the COVID and just all the drama, that there's a lot of laws being passed to stop you and I and people that look like you and I from voting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we can't vote, we can't change it. So I'm hopeful that we will see the light over the next, 9, 10, 11 months before the midterms next year. Yeah, that's my main thing, man. Let's wake up. Wake up, man.
I agree with you on this because I know briefly before we came on, backstage we were talking, and that was really one of the things I know we just experienced that here in the DMV area, in Virginia, having a new governor elected that I call the mini Trump. A lot of that mindset and that focus, and talking to people who look like you and I think our community is suffering from fatigue, in the sense that we did so much and we came out, showed out. Stacey Abrams, everybody, and all of our leaders really helped move the needle in the past election. And it's like you said, these midterms though really are important, or really sometimes more important than the national election. And I just feel like talking to people of color, we're tired. But my thing is, and like we said before, but we're a different breed from our parents and our predecessors, because they would have never gave up. It's like that needle would still be getting pushed. And right now I find that we're, like you say, we're in that middle point where some of us are like, man, like I'm done with this. And if we don't stay committed, what is it going to look like for us? Not 2 years from now, but 4 years, 10 years. And I agree, we really have to stay focused and try to figure out a way to get reinvigorated, and continue to put up the fight. And you said that so well. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. So Lynette, if we can transition to you, what is it that you're hopeful for in 2022?
Yeah, I think the same sorts of things, right? That we're hopeful that some of the silver linings and things that I think we all became a little bit more aware of, because of what was happening in 2020 and 2021. I hope that we don't lose that and just sort of go back to, and let's go back to how it used to be. It's like, well, not everything should go back to how it used to be.
Right.
There are some things that we've started to make some change in, and I hope that momentum continues. On a more personal level for me, I guess for my my studio, we haven't been able to have like live performances for anything. I have students who just this year we're going to get to do a Christmas show, which is very exciting.
That is exciting. Yeah.
Still have to, there's still a lot of mandates around what can happen for it. We're not back in a theater yet, but I'm hopeful that as we keep going through this, and I know our numbers look very different than they do for you where you are in the US, but I'm hopeful that things just keep getting better, and that we, claw our way out of this, right?
Yeah, I think we're all in that same boat, trying to paddle toward getting out of this predicament. Hopefully, I do want to ask Dan. We're coming to the end. I have two more questions before we close out, if I can. I just want to ask Dan, something a little off the wall, like, if you were like, I don't know, the prince or queen of Zamunda, I don't know, and you could change or make one holiday tradition that you can add to Thanksgiving, and this is just really off the wall. I'm looking for creative sauce from our entertainment friends. So I'll start with you, Lynette. If there's one unusual tradition you'd like to make part of, I don't know, Thanksgiving or Christmas tradition in Canada, what would it be?
I mean, pastels for everyone.
Okay.
No, that might be, because for us it was pastels, it was sorrel, it was having punch a crumb, more parang for everybody. Bring Junie Christmas all across for people.
I love it. Not a problem though, because I'm not opposed to it. Give me all the sorrow you can, and I'm happy. I love it. So Lawrence, I'm going to ask you, my brother, what you're the prince for the day, your own country. What is one unusual tradition that you would like to add to Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Man, we got to have the spades table with the family and friends, and we got to go ham. We got to go ham. Yes, got to have the spades, bro.
I love it. Spades all day, mandatory, nonstop. Even while you eating, you gotta have it going on.
Why not?
I love it. So Miss Etta Mae, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move over to you. What is that one unusual tradition if you were the queen for a day?
If I were the queen.
Oh, well, you are. I'm sorry, you are the queen?
I'm trying to wear my crown every day.
Yes, ma'am.
But, I'm interested in that pastel, whatever that is. I'll take some of that today. And I'm pretty good at, I can do the bid whist and the spade. So I got it covered across the table.
Okay.
I'm available. But you know what? I think one thing I would say, all the scales in the land would be set back 10 pounds. So whatever it says, you do minus 10 pounds and let that last for at least until maybe the middle of January so we can have time to get ourselves together. But on a serious tip, as young folks say, I would say as much as we do, like we want to give everybody a Thanksgiving meal, I think that's wonderful that everybody gets to eat. But I wish all the people who can afford it, these billionaires out there going up in space and all that, if they would take some time to maybe instead of making sure everybody had a meal, they make sure everybody that need one have a home, at least temporary or something.
I agree.
Because I think it can be done, but they just need to set their mind on it. So that would make me happy.
You really touched on something that really, I don't know, this made me think, because you're talking on that, and while we're talking about, we talked about the history of Thanksgiving in Canada and things like that, and what you're talking about making change. I just want to ask then, if you could then, Miss Etta Mae, and I'll start with you. If you could have Thanksgiving dinner, let's say with one historical figure, who would it be? And maybe and why?
Oh my goodness. Let me think. You know what? I got to go with Jesus.
Okay.
I invite him. Well, in literally he's there anyway, right? So maybe, but if I could really, if it was one of those things, I think he would be in the flesh. I would welcome him, and just like they used to sit at his feet and he would feed everybody, I would really welcome a chance to really hear him say all the things. He already said everything that need to be said pretty much, but I would love to just kind of feed off of him and hear the good word and maybe be refreshed and rejuvenated and motivated to really follow his teaching. So if he would sit at my table in the flesh, that would be some dinner. I have to film it and put it on Instagram.
Look here, I'm telling you, because I mean that really, I was not expecting that, and I thought that was woo. Well, it gave me chills. Hey, yes. Look, I really love that. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm gonna transition, Lawrence, my brother. If you could have Thanksgiving dinner with one historical figure, who would it be and why?
Malcolm X.
Oh,
Malcolm
all
X.
right. Yeah.
I
Mm.
would love to just. I'm sure he would drop a lot of jewels on. Plymouth Rock didn't land on me. I landed on Plymouth Rock.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm X, man, all day, all day. I'll
Wow.
be like a sponge.
That yeah. Again, that's another answer. Like, this gives me chill just to think. When you think about really what he meant, not only to Black history but to American history. And I think a lot of times, it's nothing we talk about Malcolm. I mean, we talk about Martin Luther King, which is great. But there is another flip side to the coin, and Malcolm really delivered a lot of positivity and strength to our community for some who are really lost and really felt like they had nowhere to turn. And I think that was a very poignant person. And we 2 for 2 right now. So Lynette, no pressure. But I want to ask you the same question.
Well, I think if Etta Mae has already got our Heavenly Father at her Thanksgiving, then I'm going to go with my earthly father. My dad passed in October of 2019, just after Thanksgiving for us. And I think we sometimes take those times that you'll have with your family for granted. So I would have one more Thanksgiving dinner with my dad.
Yeah, look, that's enough said right there. That's beautiful. Wow. Thank you all for sharing, your thoughts and comments. But before we go, I do want to ask, and if you don't mind sharing, what's next, for each of you, what's coming up, what's on your schedule, what can we look for? Because look here, listeners, we have 3 amazing talents in our community, and I wanted to be able to give thanks today, not only by talking about the holidays and what we share, but give thanks and support. 2 mics up, we're here about educating, empowering, and impacting. But we have 3 great talents that I would hope that, if you haven't seen them before, you go back, you check the previous episodes, but get out and support the work that they're doing in our community because it's really important. So with that said, I'm going to start with you, Lynette.
For me, I've got some things in post-production really right now. So there's nothing that I'm currently doing. My part is over, but I got to be part of 13, the musical that Netflix is doing because that was shot here. And so they'll release that in 2022. And then I recently just wrapped a dance project called Long Walk to Freedom that was an interesting kind of concept, but started with it being a tribute to Nelson Mandela, and then sort of going from his story and his life and how that kind of affects a lot of us, and sort of telling a whole history, sort of using his story. And the composer for it, I thought it was really interesting in that it's an a cappella piece, but they looped back in on what they were singing and to create this sense of him looking back on his life and reflecting while he was in prison, looking back on his life. So there were sections of the song that would just repeat back on themselves. So as a dancer and a choreographer for that piece, for me, I found that really interesting because I got to take sections of movement and try and mirror that with it. So it's shot, it's done. Now I'm also looking forward to seeing it, and I hope the rest of you are too.
Well, please, when you can provide or get a chance to provide us with that information, please let us know. We'd love to share it, to have members of our community follow along and celebrate with you and your work. And thank you for joining us today. And I mean, continued success to all that you're doing. And I want to ask, Lawrence, I'm excited as well. I know Lawrence has got some things that he has in the works. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't seen him he's been here before, go back, check it out, because some of you missed out on the opportunity on what he's actually putting on currently. But Lawrence, please go ahead and share what you got going on, my brother.
Definitely. We're in post-production for my 4th feature film. It's called Night Games.
All right.
It's a horror. It's a Black horror. And thank you. And we're about 90% done. We have a couple of pickup days coming in a few weeks. And then it'll definitely hit, I don't know what network yet, but it'll definitely be on TV and, the Netflixes of the world, whatever. It'll
Mhm.
definitely be out everywhere, probably around the summer to fall next year. That's called
Okay.
Night Games. And I just shot. Speaking of spades, I know you guys might be familiar with like the World Series of Poker,
Yep.
but they have a World Series of Spades that just came out by some talented brothers out here. Clint Cole is the creator, and it's going to be streaming on the streaming app called Caffeine TV, like coffee,
Okay. Okay.
Caffeine TV, and it starts streaming December 1st. And me and my partner, who is Mackay Pfeiffer,
Okay.
him and I have been partners with Spades since we did Clockers way back in the day.
Okay.
We got a lot of history with Spades and they filmed the whole tournament. It took like a whole weekend, and they have, I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but I can't say who won or whatever. But
Right.
it'll be airing starting December 1st on Caffeine TV.
So look here, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Can't say who won, but we know that Lawrence and Mackay Pfeiffer, you heard it here, yeah, D Mackay Pfeiffer and D Lawrence Adiza, they teaming up, and I can only imagine how much S talking. And well, yeah, exactly. And we, because I'm from New York. You gonna play spades, you got to have a little something behind it.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what that was like, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Mackay Pfeiffer, Caffeine TV,
Yes. Yep.
and we will put this here and we'll drop it in the comments and the link below. So y'all check it out, man. Go out, support Lawrence and what he's doing, Caffeine TV and everything else. Thank you so much, Lawrence, man, for sharing that, man. Continued success.
Appreciate you.
Miss Etta May,
Oh yes.
what will come on now? What do we have, and what are you working on? Since you've last been here on the show.
Oh well, I was trying to look at Lawrence's poker face to see if he was
Oh,
a winner or not, but I guess I have to
we gotta take a look. We all gotta take a look real quick.
try to see if he can get away. But I'm just so happy to be making an encore appearance here on Two Mics Up. That is it's a pleasure, and it's always good to see you, young man. And I just see, what am I doing? I'm going to get ready for Thanksgiving, make some room, do a little walking so I can really enjoy myself, and I'm doing a reading. I'm actually part of a read. We're going to do the Amen Corner James Baldwin play, which hasn't been done too much, but we're doing a reading of that in a couple of weeks just to see how it sounds and see if we're going to go forward with that. And have a few Zoom holiday parties coming up. I do that a lot. So if anybody wants me to come, I'll get my decorations going for you, and I can do holiday greetings from Etta May from Little Old Lady in Pasadena. So I do that, and I got my ladies here. We do our stay-at-home choir. We got a lot of things in the can. We got numbers we sing here at home. And we're going to do some more holiday tunes and pull out those. And I appreciate anybody who's following me on the YouTube and TikTok. There's a lot of fun right now, and Instagram. And if anybody knows how to get me some traction, getting my videos out in the public, I love some help from the young folks who know what they're doing, because I'm a little slow. I'll show you what I'm working with. I got this.
Oh.
I need to upgrade. Actually, I got this, and then sometimes I do this one. I got my flip phone too, but I really need some help from a tech person who can help me get going. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just enjoying everyday life, and I'm grateful. And thank you for giving me a chance to say what makes me thankful, because it made me think.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, look, thank you so much. And again, I cannot tell you how excited I am and how honored I am each and every time I have the opportunity to sit down with you all. You all are amazing and gifted people. I'm proud to have people such as you that look like me doing the work that you're doing. And really, on behalf of Two Mics Up and myself, I wish you all a safe and great holiday and continue success in all that you do. And if there's anything that we can share, on your behalf with our community and our listeners to continue to support, we will do that. And one other thing, again, before we go, I do want to allow you all to share your social media information with our audience. Once again, I just want to make sure that we want to be able to support you. So I'm gonna start here with Miss Etta May. If you want to take a moment to share your social media information.
Oh, sure. Well, it's right down here on the thing, right over
Yeah,
there.
over there.
Yeah, I can't even do it. I'm on YouTube. At any time you want to subscribe, I promise I won't bombard you with too much. But we put out Speedy Scripture every Tuesday on YouTube, and Stay at Home Choir. It's at YouTube/whatever Etta May TV, like that, and
Uh-huh.
and also like that. Okay, I'm not very quick. And on Instagram, we're on the same Etta May TV, and then also TikTok. We do a lot of fun things on TikTok and on Facebook. It's Etta May Mumford on Facebook page.
I
So
love it.
come
Thank
join
you
us
so
for the
much.
fun.
I love it. And Lawrence, please, my brother, before we go, make sure you get your information out. And I want to ask you, if you again have any projects in the near future, because I know you had taken some artists to help, or you selected an artist to
Mhm.
create your, work on your current project.
Yes.
If you have anything else, you man, share, where people can get at you. Because look, yeah, I really missed out on a serious opportunity.
Yeah.
This brother's really putting in time to really open up doors for a lot of us in the community, man. So, if you have anything else that you can share, Lawrence, please do.
Absolutely. At my website, it's my full name, Lawrence Adisa, ADISA, LawrenceAdisa.com. That's the website. And we always take submissions. If you have like a synopsis or a script that you want us to take a look at, that's the best place to go, is to go to the website
Mhm.
and just submit your screenplay, what have you there. Uh, my social media, it's my name once again, Lawrence Adisa, uh, on Instagram as well as Twitter, and then on Facebook it's Lawrence LA Adisa, and that's really it. Um, Definitely reach out, because yeah, the film we just shot, I directed it, but we took scripts. We took submissions for scripts, and we actually chose one script that was submitted by over 100 submissions, over
Wow.
100,
Wow.
and
That's
that
awesome.
writer got paid. You go to IMDb, look up the movie Night Games, and you'll see the writer there. He has his credit as well. I didn't know him from a hole in the wall, and now
Wow.
he got his first feature film writing credit. So
Wow.
yeah, we don't play around. We don't play around.
Wow. I'm telling you, man, this is what I love. This is what I love about it. Look, y'all, you miss out on an opportunity. Doors only open but so many times, so take advantage of what we're helping to put out for the community. Last but definitely not least, Lynette, please share, your social media information, please, with our audience.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook at just my name, Lynette Doherty. I think on Twitter, I'm This Is Lynette. And then my studio as well, The Space. So The Space Toronto, and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can find my studio online as well.
Hey, and Toronto, make sure y'all get out there, man. Support. I follow. I'm a huge follower. I'm an avid follower of all of our guests, but you know, in the space, it's really Lynette is doing some great work, and I think our kids need an outlet, and really getting into dance and that type of thing is really a great way to go right now, and to continue their development. You find that life is challenging, and I think this is a good way for our youth to express themselves and be able to deal with difficulty. So check Lynette out, everything she's doing at the space. And look, again, like I said, thank you all. We're going to go ahead and close out today's wonderful episode with all of our guests. You can follow Two Mics Up online at www.twomicsup.com. You can also follow us on our social media platform, IG, Facebook, and Twitter, and now YouTube at Two Mics Up. And if you're watching this show here today on YouTube, make sure you go ahead down there, you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell over there so that you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from Two Mics Up. Leave us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel, what you think. Constructive criticism is accepted here. I'm a big boy. I can take it, but I more than that, I appreciate it either way. And like we always do at this time, may you all have a great and safe and blessed holidays. from Two Mics Up, stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.